go, man, we're just trying to show people that, even though we've been pretty hard on each other, that when you get face to face, maybe we could have a little more civility in this country and try to bring people together. And that was my whole intention.
Welcome back to our channel. You're here with your host, the Conservative Bird, and his co-host, me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Today we got a really good episode for you, actually. We got Bill Maher, who actually decided to, you know what? We're going to go have a meeting with Trump and we're going to have dinner with him. There was a lot of ups and downs with it. Kid Rock, I guess, put it all together, which I didn't even know Kid Rock and Bill Maher were that cool. In all honesty, I didn't know they were friends like that.
Yeah, he's been on the show like 3 or 4 times now.
Really? See, I don't watch Bill Maher's show just because I can't stand hearing him talk with all his liberal nonsense. I do.
I hear you there.
I do see a lot of clips though lately. Of him actually having common sense moments, and maybe he had a common sense moment here when he said, "You know what? As much as I criticize a man, as much as I can't stand a man, as much as I don't think he should be president, I'm at least going to take the time out to hear him out and go have a dinner with him." I don't see anything wrong with that, and I think that's where a lot of these liberals are completely brainwashed about, like how they're going after Elon with Tesla and trying to burn people's cars and taking all this political violence way too far. Instead of just having open dialogue and open conversation with people, they want to do harm and destruction. It makes zero sense. And this is the way to do it, though. This is what you do. You have to have the conversation with people.
Right. Oh, I absolutely agree. By the way, just a little update. Pam Bondi was on this afternoon. They caught the person who burned down the Tesla station in Colorado in Plano, Texas this morning.
Oh, that's awesome. Damn, so he made it from Colorado to Texas?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's really not that far, actually.
I guess.
From where they're, I mean, it was probably like a 4-hour drive.
Wow.
To where they had to go from to where, maybe 5.
That's still wild to me that they got 4 hours away before somebody caught him.
They're charging him fully, and he's looking, or she, they haven't, she never mentioned the name. Oh, she did give the name, actually, I guess later on. I didn't get a chance to hear it yet, but we can look it up.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely find it. But she basically said that they're using the full extent of the federal government prosecution, abilities, and they're going to
they're going to throw the book at him.
Yeah, they're looking at 20 years.
Well,
That's what she said.
I mean, if you think about it, right, because since there's political motivation behind all this, that's technically domestic terrorism.
I absolutely agree, and I don't know why. Here's what I don't understand. Aren't these the same people that really love electric cars? And I get it, they disagree with Elon. So what? Doesn't this kind of defeat their purpose, though? You're blowing up cars with lithium batteries. You want to talk about carbon emissions into the atmosphere? I mean, that's relentless. And
right.
it just proves they were never really about the agenda.
No, it's not. They're just
about the power.
They're brainwashed to think that they're about the agenda, and they're not really about anything. They say that we're the party that sips the Kool-Aid, but yet they literally go out and do whatever they're told to do. Just like 3 or 4 years ago, Elon was the left's darling. They loved Elon Musk.
I remember when...
Now all of a sudden, bro, they said that they acted like he was the king of the new green scam. And
he was the king of the new green industry. On his end, I wouldn't call it the new green scam.
No. I just mean the whole scam that they're trying to throw the green agenda at us, like it's really that big of a deal.
What I'm saying is that political agenda was backing him up because he was putting electric cars out there. And at the time, he was donating to Joe Biden, too.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. He was donating to Pelosi because he was in California, man.
That's true.
His business was, he had to grease the palms out there. But his eyes were open when he moved to Texas, weren't they? Well, his eyes were open with the COVID. And the point I was going to make is he was their darling.
Yeah.
He was the darling of the left, dude. They would have laid down in front of a train for that man.
They loved him.
They Saturday Night Live. Remember when he was on Saturday Night Live with his mother on Mother's Day?
Yes.
And they had all those memes of Bart Simpson saying Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Remember from that episode from years ago? And all Bart would have to say is I don't even remember what the word that Bart was that said, but in the SNL thing, they're like waiting for him to say Dogecoin, and then they all start buying a bunch of Dogecoin. It's like, really? Okay. I mean, that's
a little weird. It just doesn't make sense how you can just love somebody so much and then in a split second hate them just because of their political views.
Well, that's all it is, because they never loved him for him. They only loved him for his The politicians loved him for his donations. They loved him for his political support. But when he no longer supported the Democratic Party, or let's just say the Democratic Socialist wing of the Democrat Party, because there are good Democrats, man. I believe John Fetterman, even though I disagree with his policies, I believe he's a good man.
Yeah. Just definitely has some misconstrued.
He's a good man.
Yeah, just a little misconstrued views, but yeah, I consider them more left centrist than far left.
Right, like Andrew Cuomo. I'm going to actually defend Andrew Cuomo. I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth. But, I mean, I'm just saying the guy's a left of center, though. He's not a left wing. He tried to do it. He kowtowed to them. He let them bully him. And look what they did. They pushed him out. They're like, oh, we can't have an old white man. He didn't even that old. Yeah. They couldn't have an old white man. They had to have at least a female or someone of color. Yeah. So they basically...
or someone that's becoming a female.
Yeah, he's Italian, man. Like, Italians kiss a lot of people and hug. My half Italians. Part of my family's Italian, dude. It's That's just how it is, man.
Right.
A kiss on the cheek and a hug. Right. That used to be considered normal, and now they ruined that man's career over that, dude.
Yeah.
They did. They did, man. Because he didn't.
Go ahead.
Because he didn't kowtow.
Yeah, that's basically all it is.
In the end, he stopped.
So basically, so speaking of Chris Cuomo, all right, so we got him and Bill Maher talking, and I haven't seen this yet, but I guess they had a little conversation about Bill Maher having his dinner with Trump. So let's see what they have to say about it.
Yeah, I would love to hear this. Let the clip roll, Bird.
You're going to meet with the president.
I am?
So Kid Rock makes it happen. What do you think has been the response so far? What do you think it will be, and why are you doing it? Which I'm totally for, by the way, and I love it.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I'm doing it because, first of all, it was presented as
a dare.
not a dare. No, just like, maybe this is a beginning to heal America. No,
I like that. I really do like what he's saying right there. I like it a lot.
Give props to both of them, man. I love how Chris was like, and just so you know, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm telling you, man. Chris,
I think it took him getting fired from CNN to really realize what's going on.
No, he knew what was going on. He was just playing along because he was getting a paycheck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now he doesn't have to do that. Now he can just be fair and balanced. And if he wants to put his own slight, because he does, he puts his slight lenience in there.
For sure.
I'm cool with that, man.
Everybody does.
Well, I mean, he has the right to agree to disagree.
Right.
Especially with me. I mean, who am I?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But still, I mean, they just did the Cuomo's wrong, man. They did it wrong. And that was done by their own party.
I will say this. I don't think his brother was done wrong. I think his brother was a terrible governor. He was responsible for. I think he was responsible for a lot of people in the nursing homes where they were putting the COVID patients. I thought that was very wrong and evil of him. I have no sympathy for his brother, but I like Andrew or Chris. I like Chris. He's cool.
Well, here's my thing. My only thing with and I agree with you on that. Andrew Cuomo should have probably
been prosecuted.
He should have been impeached for the nursing home scandal with
Yeah,
the COVID.
without a doubt.
Instead, they impeach him because he kissed some girl on the cheek.
Right.
I mean, come on. Where are the priorities, man? They killed off 3,800 people in those nursing homes.
Sad.
And the priority, and that's my problem. All Andrew Cuomo is in this conversation is just the object of the hypocrisy. That's all.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, so let's see what they have to say.
You're right. He was a horrible governor.
Terrible governor.
Terrible governor.
You didn't even have to live in New York to know how terrible he was.
Well, I've been there when he was governor. I mean, I was in the city, and I mean, honestly, let's just say, no, he wasn't. There were better governors. There's definitely been better governors. Hochul's not one of them either.
Right.
But I was really on the side of Lee Zeldin. I really wanted to see him get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's get back to this.
I don't have some sort of complex where I think I can heal America. I can't. Okay, let's get that clear. I'm not going to be healing America. But if two guys who've been at each other for so long, I mean, it's kind of a Nixon to China thing. I have the credentials. There was nobody who was harder on Trump or more prescient about the fact that he wasn't going to leave office voluntarily than I was. I feel like I have the credentials.
I think he was giving himself a little bit too much credit there. The liberal media was 1,000 times harder on Trump than this dude ever was. This dude was one of the softest on Trump. And don't get me wrong, he went after him, but his monotone, the way he presents himself, not hard at all. The way I've seen people from ABC attack Trump 1,000 times harder.
I mean, he has used those words, though, tyrant, and he has insinuated the Hitler thing, and he's insinuated it would be the end of democracy. So, he doesn't. I mean, nobody comes close to the mainstream media. I'll tell you what, man, I would never want to have anything that's on the wrong side of the media beating me up, dude. That's how Donald Trump, man, God bless that man. I don't know how he did it, man. Most people would say, screw this.
Honestly, you got to have thick skin. I mean? You got to have thick skin.
And you got to be tough as nails.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Bill Maher couldn't do that. He
No.
couldn't take the criticism and the political attacking and the media attacking.
Never.
Dude, Bill Maher would crumble, dude.
Never.
He would crumble.
1,000% crumble.
But I love that he's, willing to open up the dialogue, man. Because, I mean, look, hey, if I have any of my Democrat friends watching this video, know that the dialogue is always available and open, man.
Yep.
We were friends before all of this. We don't have to not be friends anymore because we are on a different side of the aisle.
Right.
Like I said last week, man, we are the party of inclusivity.
Yeah.
That is the MAGA movement, man.
Yeah, for sure. We're willing to bring anybody in as long as you're not trying to be completely radical.
Or trying to disrupt the movement.
Right. That's all it's about.
Because that's what this is, man. They think this is all about Donald Trump. This is not all about Donald Trump.
It has nothing to do with Trump.
This is all about Americans finally found a voice who's willing to stick up for them against the Chuck Schumers, the Cory Bookers, who we're about to discuss later, the Nancy Pelosi's. I mean, AOC, she's just funny, dude. I mean, she's no real threat.
Yeah.
Although I do think her and Bernie Sanders are teaming up to be president and vice president. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it'll be like 90 by then.
I know, and which is. What he'll end up doing is let's just say hypothetically Bernie Sanders could win, all right?
Right.
And I'll make it quick because we got to get back. Even if he did, I have a feeling he'd be too old to hold the position and he would have to resign anyway.
Without a doubt, after a year or two.
You can't have a 90-year-old president, man. That's insane.
Not at all.
Anyway,
but they also respect
No, go ahead. I'm my bad.
Respect me because I'm honest about the woke train to crazy town.
He is.
And I don't shrink from that. And I've also lost a lot of fans for that. The woke people have left the building, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice. But it does give you a certain credibility. So I just think to meet somebody, first of all, it's an honor to be invited to the White House.
Yes, it is.
And I've already had a couple of people who I said to them, you know, I'm just going to take it as a backhanded compliment.
You know, and that was my biggest thing with like all the athletes when they would win the championships and they didn't want to go see Trump just because he was the president. How disrespectful of your city, of your state, of your team, of your coach, of your country are you? You are getting paid millions of dollars to be an athlete, and people come and flock to your arenas, come and flock to your fields just to see you guys play a sport, right? And you guys have the audacity to not want to go sit with the President of the United States and a lifelong tradition because your ego is too swollen to where it blinds your judgment of something. How rude and disrespectful. And even when Biden was in office, that would have been rude and disrespectful.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. That was a total diss, and it was totally done in a way that it looked and appeared to be exactly what it was. Now, with that said, you're right. Their egos got in their way. It all started with the kneeling and Colin Kaepernick, and it just worked its way all the way to LeBron James. But here's the one thing. In the NBA, that was from the top down. I mean, that message was from the top down.
It's true.
And
same thing with the NFL.
So even in the NFL too, it was from the top down, man. So if you got all these owners and signers of the paychecks, you know, determining, you know, what was going to be the social justice of the movement of the time and what wasn't going to be the movement of the time, and directing them. And you had the big media, man. You had ABC in particular, and NBC and Peacock. You know, hey, you want to air your games, you got to play by the rules. I mean, honestly, that was the biggest coup of American.
Right.
Of American tradition and way of being and life and way of life. That was the biggest attack and coup ever.
The things like sports and stuff that are meant to bring people together, because you could be from one side of the spectrum or from the other side of the spectrum. Sports bring people together. When you bring something in with so much divisiveness in it, it makes people that could love watching a sport say, I'm out of here, and just leave. Like, I stopped watching sports personally. I watch it here and there. I'll catch like a Cavs game or something. But when I seen Jarvis Landry walk out in a dress, I was done. When I started seeing Russell Westbrook walk around in a dress, I was done. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and watch some of like the top, like, you know, Landry at the time was like one of the top stars of Cleveland. Russell Westbrook is one of the stars and spotlights of the NBA at the time. And these dudes are walking around in dresses. And then Jarvis Landry has the audacity to write godly scriptures on his Instagram. Like he's this saint or something. And like, no, dude, you walked around in a dress. That's like something in the Bible. Men are not supposed to dress like women. Don't act like you're...
Technically, all fairness, back in the Bible, unless you were royalty, everybody wore robes.
Well, robes are different than dresses,
at the time
though.
of Jesus, they all look the same.
Well, robes and dresses are different.
I was meaning to be funny with
you. I
know. I
know.
get what you're saying.
It's just weird. It was just weird.
Jarvis Landry, again, he was telling the lie, brother. He was telling the lie.
It just made me disinterested in it.
It was all propaganda. It was the big globalist movement, man. They were going to use our military to globalize and with socialism, and they were going to use our military to do that. Think about that, dude. That was the plan.
It's crazy.
That was the plan, dude. That was the real progressive plan.
So
it's a planetary plan.
It's true.
They were wanting our blood and guts to do it for them.
All right, so let's get back into it now, right? So, Kid Rock is the one that actually organized all this for Bill Maher. And like we were talking earlier, I didn't realize how good of friends they were, but then you enlightened me that he's been on the show plenty of times. And I guess they're probably in the same circle. They've been around Hollywood for 30 years, you know, something like that. So I could see it. But Kid Rock explains here why he decided to do it. So let's check it out.
I'm actually going to try to unite this country, and I'm starting the end of the month.
I love it.
I'm taking Bill Maher to the White House for dinner.
I love it.
This guy who's done nothing
great.
but talk smack about
Yeah.
the president since day one.
Day one.
But he's a comedian too.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can have conversations with him, you know, if you don't get into Trump, because I'm like, I freaking love him.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't. I'm like, let's talk about other things. We can find common ground. He's
Exactly.
actually, you know, more reasonable than a lot of people on the right would think.
I
think
I could see that.
Maybe 4 years or whatever. So I said to him, I was doing his podcast, and I said, if I can hook you guys up, this, that, and the other. And trust me, there's a lot more people deserving at that table, you know, for dinner. So it's a big deal to me to, you know, bring him there and even have the president be like, yeah, do it. Let's do it. I go, man, what would it say to this country?
Yeah.
Let's start at the top where you know, very public figures, him, television comedian, you president of the free world. You know, we could just break bread, have some laughs, take a picture and be like, hey, you know, we don't agree on everything, but we got along. Does that start to send a message to people, or do they just think I'm an idiot?
Yeah.
You know, does Bill Maher look soft for going? Does Trump look weak? Like, I'm like,
No.
man, I think we just got to start somewhere like there and be like, look, man, we just had dinner. We had some laughs. We had fun. Like, maybe call that family member that you got into it over politics, or that person, you know, at the school that, you know, you don't like to talk to anymore that you used to have a coffee with in the morning. Maybe just get back with him and be like, look, man, it's okay. Everybody calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yo, legitimately, this is exactly how I feel. I've had conversations with family members. I actually had to tell my cousin at some point. She came up here for Christmas, and I was like, look, I don't want to talk politics with you at all. Like, I just want to have a nice, you know, we don't see each other very often. Just want to have a nice conversation. We can hang out, chill, you know, watch TV or something. We don't have to talk about politics. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that serious that we have to talk about it every single time we see each other and constantly argue about it. That's illogical to me.
I mean, honestly, other than my stepmother and my brother, man, I pretty much lost everyone because like in 2016, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I'm very honest about that. But by 2017, almost throughout, by 2018, I was like, man, this guy is the real deal, you know?
Right? He did a lot of good.
He's doing this. And honestly, man, if COVID didn't happen, he would have, he would have had 2020, man.
Oh, without a doubt.
Doesn't happen. JD Vance is becoming president himself now.
Yeah, he's showing presidential skills, especially with the way he handles himself in other countries and the way he talks to the people. He's showing that he has that bulldog in him, that go in him, that I'm not going to let you bully our country around. I'm gonna take charge, and I like that about Vance a lot.
Yeah, Vance, and yeah, dude, Vance, he definitely is not taking he's not taking crap from anyone, man.
No.
He's putting them in their place left and right.
Yep.
I've never seen a more active vice president in my lifetime, man. Guy's incredible, man.
I don't think I have either.
I mean, George H.W. Bush was the vice president for Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than when Ronald Reagan got shot, I don't think I heard 10 minutes about George H.W. Bush for 8 years.
And I think
when he ran for president in '88, he was like a new candidate to me. I'm like, who's this guy?
I think Trump's allowing JD to do that to get himself comfortable and acclimated for 2028. That's my personal opinion.
Because unless they change the 22nd Amendment, and I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. And
I don't think
really
so.
In favor.
I don't think
not
they're
in
going
favor
to.
of it either.
I don't think they're going to.
I do have to say I agree with Glenn Beck on that one.
Yeah.
As much as I love Donald Trump's policies, and that's why
we got to let
2024. But
we got to let fresh blood in there.
Yeah, we got term limits are there for a reason. George Washington was right.
Right. Now,
and I'm gonna leave it at that. Let that clip roll, Bird, if you want.
Let's get it. All right, so this is just basically Trump, and obviously he's going to have a little skepticism about Bill Maher coming in, but it is what it is. We all know how Trump is, and he's a let bygones be bygones type of person, and he's actually a lot more calm about this and is willing to have the conversation more than most liberals are willing to have the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. But before you let that clip roll, Bird, I just want to point out, it says the Gulf of America on that map. I just had to point that out. I love it, man. I love it. I actually like changing Lake Erie to Lake Ohio, but we'll discuss that one at another
I'm cool with that too. Yeah, let's go.
Guess who joined President Trump and Kid Rock for dinner at the White House last night?
Thank you so much.
Yep, fierce Trump critic Bill Maher.
Stock market has lost $5 trillion in 3 weeks. Yes, Trump, he's the Ozempic of the economy. There's also a bill in Congress to add Trump to Mount Rushmore because, like Washington, he's a patriot. Like Teddy Roosevelt, he's a renegade. And like Abraham Lincoln, he's not really helping the theater scene in Washington, D.C.
Kid Rock tells Fox and Friends that he set up the dinner, which,
I love it.
after all those zingers, the president was initially skeptical about.
For sure.
The president kind of alerted to me a little bit like, what do you got me doing? Right. And I go, man, we're just trying to show people that, even though we've been pretty hard on each other, that when you get face to face, maybe we could have a little more civility in this country and try to bring people together.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with it, man. I commend Kid Rock. I commend Donald Trump, especially for accepting.
Yeah, I commend Bill Maher. I commend Bill Maher for doing it. He, like we said,
I was going to say that next too. Absolutely, dude.
Like, did you see that chick that they were having for some dinner, and they had to fire her because she's a comedian, and she was supposed to go there and roast everybody. She only wanted to roast Donald Trump and them. She didn't want to roast the liberals, so they fired her. And then people are trying to they fired her because she's the black woman, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, she didn't want to do her job. That's why she got let go. You go there to roast both. She wanted to be bipartisan, and she wanted to only attack one side and didn't want to do the other. Wasn't her job. So she didn't want to do her job, so you don't want to do your job. Bye-bye.
Here's what if you can't see the hypocrisy of your own party and criticize it when it happens,
there's something wrong with you.
She shouldn't be hosting roasts anyway.
No.
It's like if you can't laugh at both sides and you feel afraid to laugh at your side because you're worried about being canceled,
right?
Well, you just canceled yourself anyway. Because here's the thing: cancel culture worked in the short run, but look at who's getting canceled now.
It don't work.
And we're not doing that to them.
We're
not doing that.
Only you can cancel.
You're not doing it, Bird.
Only you can cancel yourself, because if you allow somebody to cancel you, then they have control over you.
Absolutely. Well, if you work for NBC or MSNBC or CNN, you could easily be canceled. I mean, look at Chris. They tried, but Chris, you know what? He got back up on his feet and said, "Screw it, man! I'm just going to start my own show."
So listen to this, chat.
Now he's on News Nation.
Everybody in the comments, I want you to let me know if this is a W thing to do or an L. Right? So Trump and Bill Maher, they had their dinner. Bill Maher brought a list of insults that Trump has said about him over the years and handed it to him. You want to know what Trump decided to do with this thing?
What did he do, Bert?
He signed it and gave it back to him.
That's awesome. That's classic, dude. I love that.
I love this.
I love that, man. And Donald Trump's got a cool signature too. So even if you don't like him, that's still something worth having.
Dude, I would frame that if I was Bill Maher. I would frame that if I was Bill Maher, 1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
2015, and he's.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I'll put it right next to the Disturbed. I'll put it right now. I would put it right next to the Disturbed.
That'd be great.
Raw rock and roll, right?
All right, let's get it. Rocker, yep.
2015, and he's been relentless, really, ever since.
Yeah, well, Bill, when he showed up at the White House, he'd actually brought a list of insults Trump had said about him, and gave it to Trump, and what did he do? He signed it, which is very Trumpian, and they laughed and they laughed. Kudos.
That is a big Trump move, 1,000% a Trump move.
Definitely a Donald J. Trump move.
I love it.
Classic. I love it. And it's with class too, man. That's a classy yet comedic move. You know what I mean?
That's like a power move. Right, it's like a power move that you do on a comedian.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Well, Bill Maher was trying to do it to him, and it just it worked both ways, and they were both cool with it.
Oh,
Gotta
okay.
love that.
Like, okay, you
Gotta
want to
love
try?
that.
You want to try and troll me? I'm gonna get you one right back there, buddy.
To Maher, he knows this is going to burn whatever bridge that remains with the tolerant left. But he said full steam ahead. And you got to give credit to Kid Rock. He went out on a limb, as a bridge between two quarreling people that he happens to be friends with, and that is sharing the risk at its best. And what do you do when you share the risk? It causes other people to share the risk too. So both of these guys had some.
By the way, I love that outfit that Kid Rock is wearing. That is so cool. That is so cool.
He always has the coolest patriotic outfits, man.
Yeah, he really does.
Always. I've seen him in concert a few times, dude, and patriotism has always been a part of the show.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And it's a great show, too. And, a lot of people use auto-tune. Kid doesn't use it, so you get the raw, real Kid Rock. But he kind of raps more than he sings anyway. So
he does. He's kind of like a little both.
I love everything he stands for. I love how he loves America. I mean, Kid Rock is the rock and roll patriot.
I like his country music a lot, actually.
Yeah, I do too. I love all his music, from his hip hop all the way to his hillbilly.
Yeah, I like it. All right.
Something to lose, but they put their egos aside because they realize there's nothing to lose at all once you put your egos aside. And because Kid Rock was able to take the risk, they all decided to take the risk. And I think they're going to win from it. The scariest part for a lot of people is finding out that Trump might be a good person, because you've sunk so much of your energy and your life into him being bad. So you might not want to meet him, because the moment that you have to relinquish any of that sunk cost, what's left? That's why you still have, and I think it's easier for Democrats. It's not, for never Trump Republicans, they can't let it go because their entire identity is wrapped around that definition of who they are. They go into a room with them, that sunk cost destroys them.
That's why I never want to meet AOC.
Yeah.
For me to ridicule her.
Yes, that is so true.
I don't want to be empathetic.
Yes. I wish I never met you.
What?
I like that they ended with that.
Do you think secretly deep down Jesse Waters wants to, hammer one AOC? Because he does. I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems like he's more infatuated with her. I mean, I know he criticizes her and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a little hidden lust for her.
I wouldn't either. I
mean, she is attractive. She ain't no ugly girl.
No, she's not.
But he always has that little smirk.
She has an ugly brain. That's what she has. An ugly brain and an ugly heart.
She has an ugly heart, ugly brains, and well,
It's like she's like the devil she's a devil in the blue dress.
Her ideology is the ugliest thing about her.
Yeah, for sure.
The fact that she's willing to sacrifice the liberties of this nation that have been here for 249 years to satisfy her democratic socialist movement.
So
I got to make sure I get that right. Not that I even care that much if I get it right, but
so
that's what it is.
I like the fact, I feel like this is a very big thing for America, even though it doesn't seem like that. Like it is, because Bill Maher, he is a bigger figure in the spectrum of the Democratic comedic demographic. So this is a good thing, because he is he has been pretty critical of Trump. Even though he's not the biggest critic of him, he's not the biggest person out there, he definitely doesn't go as hard as the liberal media. He doesn't go as hard as people like Hassan, whatever his name is, or for anyone from the Young Turks. He doesn't go as hard on them like they do, but he does have his moments where he's very, very, very critical of Trump. So things like this are good. This is a good sign for America.
The difference with Bauer in comparison to that guy from the Young Turks, man, he's really aggressive and he's angry.
Right.
He's an angry man. I mean, he's a very, very angry man. And unfortunately, when you match anger with lack of intelligence,
true.
he's exactly what you get. But Bill Maher, he's a smart funny guy. And even though he criticizes, his criticism is usually done in a positive way. So,
and you know, honestly, I
want
think
to give him credit.
I think it's because he's older, so his values of a Democratic Party are a little bit different from what
He's
they
the
are
classic
nowadays.
liberal.
That's what, and it's people like him, and I have relatives like this that don't understand that this isn't JFK's Democratic Party anymore.
Oh,
It's not.
is not.
This is
Dude, if anything,
far
the MAGA
left progressive.
The MAGA movement's a lot closer to the JFK.
Yeah. Oh, I've told my grandma that before. I said, JFK was still alive. If JFK was still alive, he would have voted for Trump 1,000%.
I mean, the first presidential, for the first presidential regime that actually practiced trickle down economics, and I'm not going to sit here and give an economics class and say why or why not I disagree or don't agree,
right,
or agree. But JFK, that actually kind of started with him.
Okay.
Ronald Reagan was a Kennedy Democrat.
Okay.
Before he didn't become a Republican until 1968. So
really?
He was a Kennedy Democrat for those 8 years. He was a big supporter of that. But LBJ did away with it and went right into the Great Society. And that's when Ronald Reagan was jumped ship. He's like, well, wait a minute. I'm going to go against this.
Right.
So,
okay.
But yeah, JFK is the original MAGA movement. He's the original libertarian.
Oh, I've said that before that he would have been 1,000%. Let me know, you guys, down in the comments below. Do you think if JFK and RFK Sr. were still alive, that they would be Trump supporters right along with RFK Jr.? We want to know. We really want to know your guys' opinion on this.
I would love to know that. I mean, I'm going to bet that they probably wouldn't, since just because they'd be in their 90s and they would have been easy to manipulate by the media.
Possibly.
If they were like with their brains from the 1960s and alive today with that same mental capacity, yeah, absolutely, they would be on the Trump train. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Okay.
You heard it from the conservative bird and Double D. JFK is a MAGA movement guy.
Yes, sir. All right.
He's total MAGA.
So we talked a little bit about AOC, so we're going to get into that here in a second. But first, let's get a word from one of our possible sponsors. Let's talk about the NRS. The NRS is the #1 retail solution that your small business needs. The NRS customized point of sale system will help speed up checkout, simplify inventory management, and they even offer a secure NRS payment with credit card processing. For more information, please contact William R. Anderson Jr., the authorized NRS distributor, or go to their website, www.wrajrplus.com. Again, that address is www.wrajrplus.com, or just give them a call at 216-260-4906. Again, that number is 216-260-4906, and please make sure to let them know that the Conservative Bird and Double D sent you. All right, welcome back, everybody. We really appreciate you. So like we were saying before, we were talking a little bit about AOC, and John Kennedy decided to slam her and the squad and talk about the liberal hypocrisy going on, and basically telling them, like, hey, if you don't like it, go somewhere.
I agree with him, too.
I do, too.
Let that clip roll. Let it roll, Bert. We'll let John tell us.
Felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil. And
especially Ilhan Omar, who we have allowed her to marry her brother for citizenship here and didn't kick them out of the country. there's some states where you're not allowed to marry your brother, and now she's in Congress, right?
I mean, that's just crazy, insane, crazy.
So we're allowing incest to trickle down into our Congress now. Is this what we're telling us? Is this what's going on? Incest going on in Congress? What it like?
Oh, dude, look at all that stuff that was going on in the Senate when Joe Biden was president, and his little staff and administrators and stuff. Dude, they were having sex. Sex in the Senate,
and
man.
filming it. They were filming it.
Filming it. Like, how little pride can you have in yourself to film yourself doing that?
I don't get it, bro. I don't understand the logic and how these people, and it's crazy because you could tell them things like this, but if Donald Trump Jr. were to do something like that, oh my God, the Democrats would flip out and want the table burned.
They would have lost their minds.
They would have burned the table.
Just think if Donald Jr. or Eric Trump or someone like that left cocaine in the freaking White House. Now, our neighbor actually has a theory about that. He thinks the cocaine belonged to Zelensky.
Okay.
It was Zelensky, and because he is an actor.
I'm not saying yes or no on that. I would have thought it would have been. I would have thought it would have been Hunter's personally.
Well, no, that's what I say. He thinks that Hunter and Zelensky were doing it together.
Oh, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense because
a blow, and I know Hunter's got a hell of a tolerance, but damn,
I can see Hunter and Zelensky being cool with each other just for the simple fact that Hunter Biden did so much business in Ukraine.
Absolutely.
And remember, his dad
business was up here.
Yeah, well, remember his dad. Remember his dad got somebody fired who was investigating him.
He was investigating Burisma, man. That was he was one of the prosecutors. He was investigating in Ukraine, and he was investigating Burisma. And dude, Joe Biden was like, "You get rid of him, or you don't get the money."
That's crazy. I did not think about that.
He basically held like what was it?
Wow.
$6 billion over there. I think it was $20 billion.
That's wild. All right.
If you want the money, you got to get rid of him, and they did, dude. He was gone by the end of that weekend.
Let's get back into this. That's crazy. I did not. I wouldn't have thought of Zelensky, but that makes some sense. It does make some sense.
I mean, I'm just going by Dave. You know how he is. He's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I kind of
I can see that though.
See where it is. Sometimes conspiracy theory turns out to be conspiracy fact.
I mean, look at Alex Jones. 99% of his conspiracy theories turn out to be real.
Dude, yeah. I mean, the only conspiracy theory that hasn't really proved out to be real is the one about aliens, and that's the one the government wants us to believe.
Right. So, yeah, who knows about that one?
Well, they want you to believe that a boy could be a girl and a girl can be a boy. I guess believing in aliens and
I guess it's not so far fetched.
Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and what the hell? Let's throw in the Great Pumpkin too.
Yeah.
Right. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion.
True.
I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party.
Good though, that's a good thing.
When your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go.
Absolutely.
I mean, just looking at it from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration,
he's keeping it real. He's keeping it real.
Higher taxes,
he does.
Abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, "Look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave. It's a free country," and I agree with that assessment.
So let's
without a doubt. And what's wrong with telling somebody that? I don't understand that. Like, How come the left is allowed to tell Elon Musk you need to be deported? But if we were to say that to somebody, it'd be considered racist, it'd be considered bigotry, it'd be considered everything left field other than right.
But here's what they don't figure into their equation is the hypocrisy of it.
We begin this hour
and the blatant dishonesty that the Democratic leadership, I don't even want to say the Democratic Party, I want to say the Democratic leadership.
Yeah.
The dishonesty and the
they're terrible.
And the propaganda and the indoctrination and the hijacking of every single educational facility in this country, and all for what? To bring the country down?
Yeah.
They don't teach children how to love their country. They teach children to hate their country.
No.
That's why when Donald Trump became president again, and people were just finally at the point where, like, we're tired of your indoctrination. We're tired of your crazy rules.
Yep.
Now the military is back. Dude, this is the biggest enrollment since 1988.
That's awesome, and that's great. It's actually good because hopefully World War III doesn't start, but like I told my nephew, it's better to just enlist than to get thrown on the front line.
Absolutely, but if World War III does start, I hope it's between them over there, because I certainly don't think America needs to be brought into it.
No, we're going to bring them.
It's either going to be our allies or our enemies, but one of them's going to drag us into it.
Without a doubt. I mean,
I've seen this dog whistle before, so
for sure.
But
with all that being said, right? Cory Booker decides to give a marathon speech that lasted like 24 hours, all talking about nothing but Donald Trump and this administration and what it's doing wrong. I want you guys to tell me down in the comments below, within 24 hours, how many different topics could you find to talk about one person? Because I'll guarantee 85% of the stuff that was said was constantly regurgitated sometime throughout the entire speech. 1,000%.
There's no doubt in my mind, man. There is no way he had 24 hours of material. Now, I can understand this guy going for the Guinness, because that's what he did. He broke the record for the longest filibuster. Yay, God bless you, Cory Booker. That is your achievement, because he doesn't have any achievements in his career.
No, none, nothing.
Everything he's ever done was, abiding by the Democrat playbook and doing what he's been told.
Right.
Somebody probably put him up to this, to be honest.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. No.
Somebody's like, hey, Cory, you know what? I'm thinking about running for president in 28. You should go and do a 24-hour filibuster, man. That's going to look great on your resume. And this dipshit went and did it. And nothing, we could watch all 24 hours, Bert. I guarantee you there will not be one comprehensible policy that come out of it. I guarantee it. All it is going to be Trump bashing for 24 hours and Republican bashing. But he isn't going to give one policy. He is going to have, I guarantee it. We're going to listen to about 3 or 4 minutes of it?
Yeah, we got a couple minutes of it.
And I guarantee in that couple minutes, we'll never hear one substantive policy.
How many brain cells do you think we're going to lose?
If I was betting in Vegas right now, I'd take those odds.
All right, let's check it out then.
We begin this hour in Capitol Hill, where Senator Cory Booker has staged an all-night speech criticizing President Trump's agenda, and he's still going. Critics have called this a stunt. Supporters say it's an extraordinary display of democracy. Booker took to the podium at 7 o'clock last night, saying he
more like idiocracy.
Go on as long as he could. The country's in crisis.
These are not normal times in America.
No
She's
shit.
not a normal person.
This is
normal.
normal.
Should not be treated as such.
Yeah, you want to know why we're not in normal times? Because you literally have these liberals burning down Tesla plants and cars. That's why.
They're literally cutting off their own arms to slap themselves down with it. I'm keeping that one because it's the truth.
It's so much the truth.
I wish one of those Tesla explosion, one of those people who are blowing up the Teslas, why can't he sit in the driver's seat when it blows up? That would be really cool.
I know.
You want to impress me? Blow yourself up in the Tesla.
Hey.
Then I'll be real impressed.
Really?
That'll impress me. I'll be like, there you go. You made the news.
Made the news.
5 seconds of
John
shame.
Lewis, so many heroes before us would say that this is the time to stand up, to speak up. This is the time to get in some good trouble, to get into necessary trouble.
All right,
What's
let's.
that supposed to mean?
I don't. What is necessary trouble? I don't really want to.
Necessary trouble. So what he's saying is standing up there like a buffoon for 24 hours is necessary trouble. Here, let's hit him in the middle. Let's see if he says anything.
Yeah, I just feel like he doesn't say anything of substance, regardless.
No, there's no substance. The guy, he doesn't even know how to spell substance.
To the closure of USAID, he is also.
So this is basically just them talking about it. You know, I feel like we don't have to.
Because all he's doing is sitting up there wasting. We get the idea.
Yeah.
Cory Booker, he broke he broke a Guinness record today, and he spent 24 hours
talking about nothing. He spent. This is the record he broke, Double D. The record he broke is he spoke 24 hours about nothing. Within 24 hours he said a whole bunch of nothing. We don't even have to review it because we know what was said. Oh, Doge bad, Trump bad, Democrats good, democracy in trouble, blah blah blah. They say the same thing over and over and over and over again.
It's been the same punching points for these guys. My entire life, the Democratic Party's always been, it's a threat to democracy, when the whole time they were the threat to democracy. I mean, they were the party of slavery. They were the party of Jim Crow.
Right.
They were the party of, of the Ku Klux Klan.
Exactly.
They were the party of the civil rights. Yes, they were, but you realize not one Republican voted against the Civil Rights Bill of 1964, by the way.
Right.
Not one Republican.
Right.
But 88 Democrats, I believe, sat that one out.
It's crazy. So, I mean, listen, we do have a video where we can hear a little bit about what he talks about it, but we already know what he says. Like, nobody has to listen to a Democratic speech to know what they're going to say. It's always the same thing.
You know what? Let's see what because he's got his phone in his hand. Let's see if he at least reads something substantial off of Google.
Okay.
Just give it a
It is
shot.
official. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey now holds the Senate record for longest speech. That record was once held, of course, by Strom Thurmond of South Carolina, who filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Let's take a listen.
Do you know how proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America
not at all.
is of you?
We're not at all.
I've heard enough. Once I heard Chuck Schumer's voice, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, we're done. We're not proud of you at all.
Okay. I mean, what to say? He has done nothing for America.
Nothing at all.
What have you done for America, Cory Booker? Seriously. Other than spend 24 hours blowing wind out your mouth instead of out your ass. And I'm sure he was doing that too. It was 24 hours, for fuck's sake. Sorry,
why would
I didn't mean to use,
why?
I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Why would somebody give him a hot mic for 24 hours? That's my question.
Because he's allowed to. It's his right as a senator to filibuster.
But like, who would sit there and listen to him talk for 24 hours? Go take a shower. You don't have to use the restroom? Seriously.
I mean, I have a hard enough time listening to the guy talk for 5 seconds. But,
right. We just had to turn him off after 24.
If I had to go 24 hours and 18 minutes of that.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, I would shoot myself.
Oh, man. I don't know what I'd do.
I mean, I hope there's a raptor to hang yourself from in the Senate. Because, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't think I could do it, bro. I'd be like, you know what? Where's that noose?
Yeah.
Around my neck. We got to go.
We got to go.
I can't take any more of this.
That's great.
Anyway, but Cory Booker, yeah. What does it say? So, what did John Kennedy say? To argue with a fool just means there's two of them.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hey. And Chuck Schumer is so proud of him. We're so proud of you. Do
Yeah.
you know how much America is proud of you? No, America's not proud. America's laughing at you, Cory Booker. And America's laughing at you too, Chuck Schumer.
Definitely.
It's time to retire, Chucky. Time to retire, Chucky.
We do not agree.
Take Nancy Plastic Pelosi with you, Chuck.
Yep. All right. And on that note, I think we're going to end it. I really appreciate everybody coming by. I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, watches our videos. I'd like to thank my family, thank Double D, and most importantly, I'd love to thank God.
And on that note, as always, Bert, I'd like to thank our audience. I'd also like to thank you. And most importantly, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this opportunity. Good night, y'all.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.